This is 6.3 multiplying proper fractions. We start with two fractions and we're going to have to multiply them. So a two-toed sloth sleeps for 20 hours per day. A chimpanzee sleeps half of that. So we're going to write this up here, 20 hours a day. Chimpanzee sleeps half of that. A horse sleeps half of as much as a chimpanzee. In a day, what fraction of the time that a two-toed sloth sleeps does a horse sleep? So we need to know how much 1/2 times 1/2 is. So how do we find out this part right here, 1/2 times 1/2? That's what we're going to get to in this lesson. How can you multiply two proper fractions? You can determine 1/2 of 2/3 using an area model as follows. Fold a rectangular piece of paper into thirds along its length. So you fold it so that there are 3 parts of the paper. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So we fold it so there's 3. Open the paper and shade 2/3 of it yellow. So 2 of those folds should be yellow. The other one should be white. We're going to fold the paper once more in half across its width. So we're going to fold it in half this way. Open the paper and shade half of it blue, or you can shade half like this and shade half like this, or put polka dots and lines. So we've got half of the page shaded one side and 2/3 shaded a different way. How many equal rectangles are created by the folds? So how many equal rectangles? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. How many equal rectangles are shaded both yellow and blue so that they appear green? That would be these two right here. How does the area model show that 1/2 of 2/3 is 2/6? We've got 2 that are shaded green. 2 that are shaded green out of 6 total squares. That's why it's 2/6. So copy the table. The first row is completed for you. Complete the table by using the method from number 1 and counting the number of green rectangles, the total number of equal rectangles. Do not write the products in lowest terms. So if you are struggling with this concept, this is a great way to do this. Fold the piece of paper and shade it each time you fold it. Start with 1/3, shade 1/3 of the paper one way, and then fold it in half on the horizontal and shade half of the paper another side, and you should equal 1/6 should be shaded both. The next one, we've got 3/4 of the page, and then you shade the other 1/3 of the page. So 3/4 of the page green, or yellow, sorry, and then 1/3 of the page blue. And you should end up with 3/12 of the page shaded. We've got 3/4 and then 2/3, so 3/4 yellow and 2/3 blue, and we end up with 6/12 shaded. And then we've got 3/4 and again 3/4, so we're going to flip it on its side and do it again 3/4. So 3/4 blue and 3/4 yellow, and we're going to end up with 9/16 shaded green. So there are the answers. For each row of the neighbors, describe the relationship between the numerators and the denominators. So what is a rule that we can come up with these ones right here? Use your answers for number 3 to write a rule for multiplying two proper fractions. Hopefully you can figure out 1 times 2 equals 2. 2 times 3 equals 6. 1 times 1 equals 1. 3 times 2 equals 6, etc., etc., etc. So to multiply fractions, we multiply the numerators together, the top, then we multiply the denominators, or the bottom, simplify as possible. Use your rule to determine if 3/4 times 1/2 equals what it should, which is 3/8. 3 times 1 is 3, 4 times 2 is 8. To make sure that this is correct, check by paper folding. shade 3/4 of yellow and half of the page blue, and see if it equals 3 over 8. So we're going to multiply, use paper folding to double check the answers. So 1/2 times 3/5. We're going to shade it 3/5 first. There's 3/5 over here, and then we're going to fold it in half, and we're going to shade the other half blue, and we've got 3 total. So on the top we have 3, and on the bottom we have 10. And sure enough, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 total, and only 3 of them are shaded green like they're supposed to be. So 3 over 10. Example 3 is multiply using a rule. So we're going to start by estimating whether 8 over 15 times 5 over 6. So we don't want the exact answer here. We want to estimate the answer. So when we see 8 over 15, we can say that that's closer to a half than it is to 1 or 0. So we're going to say that 8 over 15 is closer to a half. We're going to write this as 1/2. Times 5 over 6 is closer to 1 than it is closer to a half. So 1/2 times 1 is 1/2. 1 can also be written as 1 over 1. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 1 is 2. So 1 over 2. This time we're going to calculate, not estimate, calculate 8 over 15 times 5 over 6. So we've got 8 times 5 is 40, and 6 times 15 is 90. So roughly 4 over 9 when we cancel those zeros out. We've got 4 over 9. 4 over 9 is very close to 1/2. So the answer seems reasonable because it is close to the estimate of 1/2. That is the final slide. Please do the show you know, and we can move forward from there.